Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome to the 25th episode of Kingdoms Season 2. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I am having a fantastic day. For those of you who are watching Kingdoms for the first time, where Season 2 is your first adventure into Kingdoms, every 25 episodes I do a world tour and a download. So you will find a download of the world in the description. It is, I think we're actually in Minecraft 1.12, and I don't think I ever updated to 1.12.2 because Optifine is kind of a pain to update with the launcher that I use. But either way, there's a download in the description. You'll find a link there, so if you want to download the world for yourself and look around and all that kind of stuff, you can do so. The other thing that I do on episode 25 is a world tour, and we do these every 25 episodes. So every 25 episodes, you'll get a new world tour and a new download of the world, and that's what we're going to do today. So this is Bullstone. This is what we have built so far in this series. It's a fishing village. It's the start of the new world, and I say the new world because this is the Season 2 portion of the world. This is actually a world that has, I don't know how many hours I have into this world. It's a lot. There is, basically this is Season 2 and it's the same world as Season 2. I just went about 5,000 blocks away or so. So we came over here, we built a fishing village. The first thing we built was this little starter house. And at this point, I think Bullstone's pretty much done. So starting very soon, we're going to be moving off and starting a new kingdom. Now that we've kind of got our starting area all sorted out. But we built this little starter house. It's got a little dock out back. We've got, in the basement down here, there's a very noisy chicken farm. A little enchanting area in one of those micro farms where you put bone meal in to here, and it will instantly grow whatever you throw in there. We also built, I think this was the second thing we built, was this little apothecary brewing area with some nether wart and stuff like that for brewing potions. I think we built that second. I'm pretty sure that was the second house, or maybe we built the warehouse first. I'm not entirely sure, but we built our giant warehouse over here. That's essentially our storage area. This place is huge. It's got tons and tons of chests, two sides. I mean, there's just tons of space in here and tons of storage for lots of stuff. Upstairs, there is the Hall of Patrons. So this is basically where I thank people who support me on Patreon with a monthly donation. If that's something you're interested in, there is a link in the description for that as well, but I don't want to sit here and spam on about that forever and ever. But we built that. We got a couple of the little kind of smaller houses that are really just here for looks. There's not really much to these as far as interiors or anything like that. I may come back and do interiors on these houses someday, but to be honest, when it comes to Minecraft, like, I just don't really enjoy doing interiors. It's not something that I like really have fun with. Some people love it. I'm just not one of those people. Got a little fireplace in this one. You know, I'm one of those people that kind of prefers to make an exterior and make it look good on the outside and walk through rather than fill the houses with interiors and do all that. I don't know. I just don't find detailing interiors to be all that fun. We also have over here the entrance to our mines and to our sheep farm that we just built. So if we head down these stairs, you'll see sheep farm. This is brand new. You can see I've been very, very busy breeding up all the sheep between episodes like I intended to. They've all been very heavily bred. It's totally not just the 2 breeder sheep that I started with at the end of last episode. Also, I should probably show you the coordinates for the new world for Bullstone are right there on the screen. If you want to pause the video, you can do so. But let's head down to the mines. And down to the mines, we've done a couple things down here just to kind of clean it up a little bit. There's not really going to be a whole lot more to do down here. So we've got a couple, kind of an open room here. Down this way, there's, you know, a pretty simple branch mine. And I've got a beacon. Well, I have a beacon mine over here. My beacon is not actually set up at the moment because I needed it for the sheep farm. But my mines are down here as well. In the Nether, this is where we start to get into the interesting stuff, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to see in this video that many of you have probably never seen before, because At least for this world tour, I do want to go and tour the old world as well. So I think that's going to be exciting. But this is our Nether Hub. Down this way is a desert and a jungle, and that is it. I don't think there's anything important down that tunnel. Actually, you know what? This might be the way to the Blaze Farm. No, it's not. It's not. I'm losing my mind. Yeah. So there's nothing really of consequence down this tunnel. It's just a desert and a jungle. There's actually nothing important over there. But down this tunnel, there's some other stuff. So if we come down this one, this goes to the end portal. The double blaze spawner and our wither skeleton farm are down this way. If you just follow this, eventually you'll come to a ladder, and it's pretty hard to miss. I mean, the ladder goes to the blaze farm and the skeleton. Like, you can't miss it. But we'll head down this way, kind of take a peek at that, and then once that's done, then I will travel the very long distance in the Nether and go to the old world. But we'll head down this way. I believe. I'm pretty sure that that's just a portal to maybe a dark oak forest. I feel like that's a portal to a dark oak forest. Just so that I have easy access to that resource. But yeah, here we go. So this tunnel, if you come down this one, going down the hallway with no torches, this goes to the old world. And it's a single tunnel. Like, you can't mess it up. If you go down this tunnel, you'll get there eventually, but it is quite a distance because in the overworld, it's like 5,000 blocks. So you're still traveling quite a ways. Down here, though, if you follow the actual torches in the lit up tunnel, this takes you to our blaze spawner and to our wither skeleton farm, which we built in the first 25 episodes as well. It helped us get our beacon, helped us get some experience and all that kind of good stuff. And it's the first two of many farms that we will probably build over the course of this season. But yeah, you come through here, you follow the torches, and eventually, ta-da, you come to a ladder, and you go down the ladder. And once you go down the ladder, you'll find the blaze farm, basically. Now, originally, this blaze farm was supposed to be a double blaze farm, but I'm an idiot and I miscounted the distance between the two of them. So there's actually nowhere where you can spawn where you will trigger both of the blaze farms. But it's a farm designed by Nembon MC, who actually has probably designed the majority of the farms that I've built. But it's very cool. There's no redstone in this farm whatsoever. It relies entirely on just mob pathing mechanics, and it works really well. It's actually pretty cool. So there's that. If we go down this way, you'll come to a pathway, and this pathway leads to our wither skeleton farm, which is a farm designed by my good friend Tangotech during Season 5 of Hermitcraft, and he built this on the Hermitcraft server. And it's kind of meant to be like a super easy, super early game wither skeleton farm. So you really don't need a whole lot as far as resources go. Like, there's not a lot of complicated redstone. You pretty much just need like nether brick and some stairs and a little bit of quartz to make the daylight sensors, and that's about it. But we got a nice tunnel that kind of leads over here. I know it's kind of dark in the Nether because I haven't lit this up, and this is slabs, so nothing can spawn on this. So I don't know if I'm ever going to properly light this up. I might put lights on the ceiling eventually. I don't know. But this is the wither skeleton farm, and it works really well. It's not really much to look at. I mean, what you see is what you get. But you can see. Look at all the wither skeletons that have spawned right here. Look at all this. Wow, I'm kind of amazed how many of them we have. Let's test it out and see if we can maybe get ourselves a skull. Hey, you! I'm looking at you. Come over here. And you just stand right here up against this iron bar. And they'll just crowd in right here. And then you just slaughter them. And maybe you get lucky and one of them will drop a wither a skull. Who knows? We'll see. Did we get lucky? Looks like stuff's still pouring in. Nope. No luck. Just bones and coal. That's okay. Still, the farm works really well. It's basically based on the different heights of mobs. So we're basically standing at a height where the wither skeletons can see us, but nothing else in the farm can. It's pretty cool. But anyway, guys, I showed you how to get to the old world. So I'm going to head down that tunnel. It is quite a distance. So I'll meet you over in the new world. Or the old world. Yeah, the old world. I'll meet you over in the Season 1 portion of this world. All right, guys, after a very long journey, here it is. The old world Nether system. So maybe this will give you guys kind of an idea of how the remainder of Season 2 will go. Not, I mean, obviously the builds are going to be different and all that kind of stuff, but maybe you can get kind of an idea of sort of the scale of what all is going to happen over the course of Season 2. Who knows? So here's the first Nether portal. This just goes to an ocean monument that I haven't actually cleared out or anything like that. It just is there. Someday I would like to maybe turn it into a proper ocean monument. Just, a proper guardian farm. I just haven't done that because the idea of, I know from being on Hermitcraft how much time and grind goes into making an ocean monument, and I just can't bring myself to subject myself to it. So we'll get there eventually. But anyway, you come out, if you come through the tunnel from the new world, you'll come out right there into this ocean monument tunnel. And then this is kind of our main Nether tunnel in the old world. So down this way, there's a mesa. Nothing really built over there, just kind of a mesa, and my mining mesa, so to speak. And all the tunnels are marked, pretty clearly. So like this one, you have one guess as to where this tunnel leads. If you guessed anything other than the Nether, then you're wrong. Although this does actually also lead to a desert. So we'll kind of check this one out first, and then we'll go and hit up the rest of the stuff, because basically everything else is connected up in the overworld, as well as the Nether. But through here, this is our old world Nether or end portal room thing. And I actually really love this build. Lots of sandstone, all sorts of good stuff. This is going to be interesting, actually. It's been announced that 1.13, the snapshots have come out, and they've got some new blocks, which I'm super excited about, because I did not know that 1.13 was going to be adding any new blocks. And not only are they adding new blocks, they're adding new blocks that I've been asking for forever. Like, you see this one? This is polished sandstone in my texture pack. This block is being added to the game. I'm so happy. This is a texture that I have wanted in the game, basically since I have been playing Minecraft. Like, all this is the smooth sandstone texture, like the top of a sandstone block, but it's that on all sides. And it's so much better than the current polished sandstone that has lines. Like, it's great for pillars. But this is our end hub. I'm not going to go into the end because actually, that would be a good way for me to get home, as long as I don't sleep somewhere over here. But yeah, we got the end portal room down there. Over here, there's a squid farm, and over here is a cactus farm. You can kind of see them off in the distance there. They're really not much to look at on the inside. Just basically a glass floor with a bunch of cactus. And then this one is not even visible. It's basically, you go inside and there's a chest. But there's a squid farm and a cactus farm over here. So we'll go back into the Nether, and we're going to do it together because I know that there's going to be some people who are going to want to explore the world, and this is going to be their first time in the world, and I want them to be able to kind of figure out where everything is. So if we go back, remember when you came in, when you came down the tunnel to travel from the new world to the old world, you came out in the end, or the Guardian Tunnel, right? So if you come out that tunnel and you hang a left, or for us right now, a right, if you go this way, this goes to everything important. Down here, you can actually see the end of this. This is where the mesa is, but that's all that's there. So we'll head down this way. I really love the way that this Nether tunnel turned out. This is all Nether brick. This was a very, very grindy Nether tunnel. The amount of Nether brick that I needed was just like absurd, because basically it's like the detail. It is the detail block for like the entire Nether tunnel, and I went through a lot of it in Season 1. But then over here, this doesn't actually go to anything. It just goes to a nice plain spikes biome. But in here, this is where it all began. this is our Season 1 Nether Hub, and right here, this is Altoom. This is where the whole world started. The original world spawn, which I did move for Season 2, but the original world spawn is right there. You see where that spruce pillar is? That's where I spawned in. Over here is our starter tower. I didn't build a starter house in Season 1. I built a starter tower, because why not? You know, we got some goodies here. We've got a couple of these totems of undying. You know, some of this kind of stuff. There's nothing really upstairs, just some chests and different things. But the idea, the story here is that this is like a little mercenary fort. There's a bunch of mercenaries that live here, and they don't really spend a whole lot of time here. Most of the time, they're out and about doing mercenary things. But this is where they live when they're not on a job. And then, you know, out here, we've got this little place where you can look out over the land if you'd like, and it makes it a little bit more defensible and all that kind of stuff. We got a town hall here. Our Season 1 storage room, or at least the starting storage room, was back in this cave, and it's still all marked out. There's actually no resources in. Okay, so there are some resources. I thought I cleared all these out. I guess not. Most of them have been cleared, but I guess not all of them. Either way, there's some resources here, but not much. Most of it got moved to my proper storage room. Down here, this goes to the mines and to my Season 1 Hall of Patrons. So this was the Hall of Patrons for Season 1, and Season 2 will probably get something similar to this. We're not going to be sticking the patrons in the upstairs of my warehouse in the attic for the entire season. I'll build a proper Hall of Patrons at some point once I have the resources to do it properly. But this is the Season 1 Hall of Patrons, and in fact, there's actually some empty space. I had just expanded it again right before Season 1 came to an end. So lots and lots of names in here. These are people who supported me over the years. I mean, there's a lot of memories here for me, because a lot of these people have played on my Patreon server, and you know, I've had conversations with. Look, it even comes with a creeper. And I ruined the world, guys. I ruined it. Oh. You can see me being sneaky with resources here. Instead of using spruce, I just, we'll just leave that. It's going to be a memory of the Patreon, or of the the server tour that I did that got creepered, because I decided to get a little too close with the... Anyway, I digress. So if we come back up the ladder, there's a lot of stuff up here as well. There's a couple of farms, actually, that are kind of hidden here in Altoom, in our little mercenary village. And if we swing up, there's a walkway right here. Back here behind the entrance to the mines, there's a little kind of sneaky door. We have a chicken farm here. I'm actually going to grab some chicken because I'm low on food. But we got a netherwort farm down here. And then down this way, there is a relatively small sugarcane farm. I think this is... let's see. This is one stack of sugarcane. And it works. I mean, it's a farm. It does the job. But it's not certainly as large as I would like it to be. We'll probably build a much larger sugarcane farm at some point during Season 2. But then if you follow this pathway and you stay on the road, here's the town hall. There's some places for all the mercenaries to sit and, you know, have some beers together or whatever, do whatever mercenaries do when they're not working. There's a ladder that goes upstairs, all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to have time to look at absolutely everything in depth, especially with us touring essentially 2 worlds at this point. But we've got a road that leads directly out of Altoom, out of our Mercenary Fort. And this road, the cool thing about Kingdoms and Season 1 is that basically everything is connected up with roads, with the exception of that stuff that was over by the end portal. And that's connected up in the Nether. But if you follow the roads, you'll eventually come to something. So like over here, there's a little bandit cave. Just, you know, people that are... the fact that this ender chest is... Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave that there. I think I do want an ender chest in here somewhere. But there's a little bandit cave. There's all sorts of little details and things that are kind of all over the place. throughout the course of this world. And I know that that Bullstone has not been the most detailed thing. It's you know, it hasn't been up to my standards for the most part, but that's because we're really early in the game. I really don't have access to a lot of the blocks that I normally would use to kind of add those colors. This is a little skeleton farm that I found fairly early in Season 1 and detailed accordingly. And it is about to be night, and I kind of don't want to sleep because I kind of want to be able to teleport back by going through the end portal. But you know what? It's okay. We'll sleep. So then over here, this is the farming town of Anona, and this is kind of where all of our agricultural stuff was in Season 1. So we've got llamas, we've got sheep and pigs and cows and all that kind of stuff. We've got big wheat fields and different vegetables and things like that. All sorts of stuff. Monsters? Oh, stupid skeleton. Hold on. Mr. Skeleton, didn't you know that it's a little creepy to stare at people when they're trying to sleep? I'm just saying. I'm trying to take a little shut-eye here, and you're sitting there looking in my window staring at me. That's just creepy, man. You can't do that. Anyway, so this is our farming village, and this was built kind of right when the bone blocks were first added. So we went with this kind of Tudor-esque style. It's not really like a true Tudor style. It's sort of like a... I don't know how I'd really describe it, but I do like the way that these houses turned out for the most part, especially the barn right here. I do like this barn quite a lot. There's a little blacksmith over here. This is kind of the main house. A lot of farms and stuff like that. And then off in the distance, you'll see one of my greatest regrets of Season 1, and that is Solus, the City of Light. And I say it's a regret because I never finished it. And who knows, maybe at some point far into Season 2, we'll actually come back here and do some work on this place. I haven't decided yet if that's something I want to do. But this place is not finished. It's started, but it's far from complete. So, really interesting, very kind of bright block palette. Very kind of almost whitewashed, which is kind of what I wanted to go for. There's a cathedral here, which in some ways is kind of similar to the cathedral that I'm building on Hermitcraft, except this one is... a lot busier. This is a lot more fantasy than real. And I mean, to be fair, the one that I'm building on Hermitcraft is kind of fantasy inspired as well. But this is the Solus Cathedral, and this took way longer than it should have. Mostly because I stopped working on it for a long time. But I mean, the interior of this cathedral is complete. It is done. It has been worked on. You know, we've got a little sitting area. There's got like a chapel. I don't know what religion they practice here. I suppose they worship the god of the sun or something like that. I don't know. But there's all sorts of stuff over here. We actually have a villager breeder that I never finished. I mean, the villager breeder is finished, but then I started working on a villager trading hall over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, right here. No, not right here. Right here. Here we go. So I started working on this villager trading hall, and I even got a couple of villagers in it, but I never finished it. The season ended. This is kind of one of the things that I was doing towards the end of the season. And I was working on this, and then I decided that I was going to start Season 2. And basically, I changed my entire focus to finishing one of the kingdoms we're going to go look at in a little bit here. But that is Solus, the City of Light, an uncompleted kingdom, but not one that has... It's not like there's nothing there. I mean, that is something that we could certainly work on in the future if that's something that you guys would be interested in coming back here to maybe do some work on that. Not early. I'm thinking like, maybe, you know, we're talking... That's something that I would do like very far into Season 2. Like once we've kind of gotten to that point where we're like, okay, we can do kind of whatever we want now. Instead of focusing on specific things because we need to build farms or we need to get a couple of kingdoms up and running or whatever. You know, this would be something that like maybe like episode 100, we would come back here and work on Solus or something like that. And I'm not going to say that Season 2 is going to be a set number of episodes. I'm not going to say like every season's going to be 150 episodes or anything like that. It's just going to be kind of whenever I feel like, moving to a new season, that's when I'll do it. But then there's this road that leads out, and it comes over here. You follow the road. This just goes into the woods. There is actually a kingdom over there, but it's very difficult to find. And eventually this road comes to Woodsong. And this is kind of our Nordic, Skyrim-inspired kingdom. Also a kingdom, I would consider Woodsong to be done, but there is certainly a lot more we could do here if we ever wanted to expand it. It would not be hard to add some more houses and just make this kingdom a lot bigger than it is right now. And you'll kind of see in a little bit, once we get over there to Regnum, our Roman kingdom, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when I say that this is a fairly small kingdom by comparison. But here, the Jarl's Longhouse, this is a massive building. This thing is huge compared to a lot of the other stuff. This is one of the larger buildings in the world, actually, and it's basically like where the Jarl, or like, I guess you'd call him like the mayor in modern terms, or the king or the lord or something like that. I'm going to grab my elytra and some rockets here so we can hopefully find my... you can hopefully find my Ravine Kingdom, which is Rathnor. I know it's around here somewhere. Let's see. Now, there's Altum. Oh, is this it? Nope, that's not it either. You know what? Easiest way to find it, honestly, is not via the air, and it's not via walking around in the woods either. There is actually a road that leads directly to it. So here from Anona, if you go over this bridge, there's a little underground path right here, and you can follow this, and this will actually take you all the way to Rathnor, the Ravine Kingdom, which is another kingdom that I never really finished, but I kind of got it to like what I consider like an acceptable level of completion, if that makes sense. I mean, most of the kingdoms are never truly done because it's Minecraft. You can always come back and you can add new stuff, or maybe you get an idea for something, or you want to go back and change something, or whatever. And here we have Rathnor. So a little mini storage room over here, a little sleeping area. Up here, I believe, is this is the Cave of Shinies. This kingdom is inspired by, like, the goblins from The Hobbit, like Goblin Town. I wanted to have kind of a ravine with, like, all these kind of sort of, like, rickety bridges and little random holes in the walls. The people who live here would be very poor, they'd be essentially scavengers. But I also wanted them to be kind of good at tinkering. Like, they're good with mechanical stuff. So we've got... some like gears and different, like a little workshop over here. There's a couple of kegs over there because, you got to do something to pass the time when you're living in a ravine. And then this doesn't really go anywhere. This was eventually going to be a road. But yeah, that's Rathnor. It's not much to look at. It's fairly small. I found working in the ravine to be kind of a hassle, actually, to the point where I just sort of lost my inspiration for it. But that's okay. So then... if we head out this road, this will take us to my favorite part in the entirety of this world. This is my favorite kingdom. This is one of my favorite builds that I have ever done in all of Minecraft. I love the kingdom that we are going to right now. We are headed right now to Regnum, which was Roman inspired. Now that's it's very important to emphasize inspired there, because I wasn't trying to copy Roman architecture and make this historically accurate, but I wanted to take some ideas from Roman architecture and Roman city planning and stuff like that. So you can kind of see some of it starting to come into render distance here. If you follow the road, there is a little traveler's camp, like right here. A couple of people who are on their way from Woodsong to Regnum set up camp here for the night, because I think that if this were a real world, the distances would be much larger, right? You wouldn't be able to jump from here to there. You wouldn't be able to go from Woodsong to Regnum in 5 minutes. It would be something that would take you, probably a couple of days on foot. But they've set up camp here, a couple of little tents, nothing fancy, a little campfire. But then as you come over this hill, I love this view right here. and you just kind of, you can see some of the details starting to come in. You've got the gate right here. You can see the statue back here in the background. The walls of Regnum surround this entire thing. Oh man, I miss this place. This was such a fun kingdom to build, and a very interesting block palette as well. If you saw this in vanilla, it would look, without the texture pack, it would look hideous. But the thing is, Kingdoms was designed to be played with this texture pack. This texture pack that I'm using was made specifically for Kingdoms. The two they're paired. They go hand in hand. But there's a lot of stuff here. This kind of became my central base of operations. There's a wall that wraps around the entirety of the city with crenellations and everything. There's a pathway that goes around. We actually have a stable over here with my my good horse, who I don't think is actually named. There's a nether portal right here. We'll go through that in a bit. And then we've got like a market over here where they sell a bunch of goods. There's a temple over here where there are two gods that they worship in Regnum. There's the god of war and then the god of the harvest. I forget what we named them, but this is the temple to the god of the harvest. And then there's a lot of houses. There's tons and tons of houses that are just here. Like lots of houses that don't really have any interior at all. They just kind of exist. They're there for looks. There is right here, I believe this is a concrete powder. No, this is a sand to red sand converter, because this roof, this is red sandstone in my texture pack. So I needed a ton of red sand. A couple of parrots in there. There's a jungle like just over a mountain. This was my my home where I slept while I was working on this. Where is the stupid... Here it is. Trying to get lost in my own house. Let's sleep real quick. But there's just so many memories here. I love this kingdom. There's so many cool things in Regnum, and so much functionality in Regnum as well. We'll take a look in a minute. We'll fly up on top of one of those functional things in a little bit, so you can kind of get an idea of the scale. But but everything's all marked out. There's roads everywhere. There's tons of all the lighting is hidden, so there's no torch spam anywhere or anything like that. All the houses are here, and some of them are functional as far as having a purpose. Most of them aren't. But there's a couple really important things here. Here is my storage room for the old world. And this did very well for me. This was a huge storage room, tons of chests. There's still tons and tons of resources here. I mean, look at, for example, look at the glass. Look at how much, I've got a couple stacks of diamonds. I've got all sorts of stuff here. This is an entire season's worth of stuff just sitting here. All the ender pearls, all the bones, all this sort of stuff is here. And I think it's just going to stay here for now. But this is the old world warehouse. And then over here, this is the grand library of Regnum. And this I built for two purposes. First of all of our enchanted books are over here. So we've got like efficiency. They're all marked as well. So these green ones are for tools. Blue is for armor. Orange is for multiple things. So unbreaking and mending. You can see I have no mending books. We've got bows, we've got all the various enchantments downstairs, and then upstairs, this is when I started the commenter question of the day. In fact, this one, on March of... was it March? Holy cow, time flies. This was the very first comment of the day. The first one I ever did. So those are all archived here, and we'll probably end up moving all the Season 2 ones over here at some point. I probably should have brought them with me so I could archive them, because that chest is almost full. But that's okay. I mean, it's an interesting thing. There's so much history here in Regnum that I'm very proud of, and I really love this build as well. Please close the door. I love the build as well. It's nice and big and very detailed. Some people would say it's over-detailed, but I wanted it to have that kind of over-detailed appearance. Like, look at the walls here. I mean, you can't really get a good look at it because of the trees that are right here, but there's a lot of detail in these walls, these patterns and stuff. And then there's possibly the most important thing in Regnum. And that is this, the Colosseum, which is not just a Colosseum. It is a Colosseum, but there's also a mob farm underneath here. So if we swing down and go into the basement, you follow the arrow, and we have over here, mob drops for days. Lots and lots and lots of mob drops. And this is probably the mob farm that I would build if I built it in Season 2. If I build another mob farm in Season 2, it would be very similar to this. It wouldn't be a Colosseum. We'd find some other way to make it look, or we'd find some other way to decorate it and make it appear on the surface. But let's just jump real quick into spectator mode so you guys can see. This is the mob farm. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It was designed by Nembon MC, and it works great. It's something like 7,000 or 8,000 drops an hour. I forget the exact numbers. He did make a tutorial on it afterwards as well, a couple months later. But very kind of a cool thing, and something that has provided me with a lot of resources. I probably could not have completed some of the projects here in Season 1 without this mob farm, specifically the bone meal. That was the big one that I needed lots and lots and lots of. What else is over here? I think that's pretty much it as far as important stuff. But just so you can get an idea of the scale, we'll fly up to our old friend, the viewing platform. I spent a lot of time up here kind of looking out over the city. And just look at how big this thing is compared to all the other kingdoms. All the walls and the bridges and everything. I mean, this whole place really kind of comes together. We have a little barracks down there for the guards to live. We've got all sorts of stuff. The Colosseum. I mean, there's just so much here. And I really love this kingdom. I love everything about this kingdom, and I miss this kingdom, if I'm being entirely honest. But I'm also excited for new stuff as well. I'm excited to do things like this in Season 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. But if we come out and we go through this nether portal, you'll come to this tunnel, which is decorated to look with the same block palette as Regnum. And then, last but not least, when we swing down this way and you come to the end of this tunnel, you'll be in the Old World Nether Hub. So there you go. That is basically the world tour. If you want to find the old world for yourself, I mean, basically, just go to 0, That's pretty much where it's at. Not exactly, but Altum is located at 62,253. So there you go. There are your coordinates. Unfortunately, though, guys, I am out of time for this episode, so I do have to call this one right here. My friends, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.